what's up, y'all? I am going to send the links and I'm going to get right into these questions. All right. So, what's going on? This is technically 704, episode 704 of the Pancakes and Power Slam show. So, for those listening in the Patreon, welcome to the Patreon. As always, and for those who are listening on the next week's episode of PNP, thank you for still joining me while I am vacation. So I am looking forward to that very much so. So, alrighty then. Let's see here. Let's get some. Yeah, let's jump right into it. What's going on?
Hello.
Building.
Feeling ever so slightly ill. It's getting cold over here, but.
Oh. Okay. Hope you feel better, man.
So quite tired today. Felt quite tired today, so.
Yeah, we're not going to be long, man. Always fun time. So go ahead.
So next week you're taking a week off to have some rest.
Having some rest, but I'm going on vacation now.
Where you going?
Well, since this will be live next week, I will let people know the following week where I went. So, so we're doing an old school, as Michael would know. What's going on, Michael?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
As Michael would know, we're going to do like a taped episode for like, this will be the following week, but it's actually going, how they used to tape stuff like 4 weeks ahead, and they used to like
3 weeks
schedule things around like you would tape something and then you can't do the title change, or the title change happened.
Exactly.
You're still wearing the belt.
You'd hold the tag team belts at Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, you lost them 3 weeks earlier at a taping.
Exactly.
And then you're gonna say at the very end, "We're out of time. We gotta go."
Exactly. That's it's so funny how they used to sell that stuff on wrestling. All right, so we got some questions. Let's see.
Dr. Chris, I have to tell you, gonna take your suggestion. I was showing my wife your video with your peanut butter, apple, and honey. We peanut butter and apple. We're gonna put some honey on it. Give it a try.
Oh my goodness! I had that as right when I was off of work today. Before I went to the gym, I had that. I was like, you know what? I got some stuff to do. I got to catch up to do before I go on vacation. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna give myself that snack before I go to the gym. Yeah. And I sliced those those apples up, and I put that peanut butter on there, drizzled that honey, and I said, "Oh, this is amazing."
I like eating. You had Jif. I like Peter Pan. They stopped making it. You can't buy Peter Pan anywhere.
Oh, they don't do Peter Pan anymore?
Yeah, they don't. It's not on the shelves. I don't know. It's for like a couple of years.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm a big Jif guy. Love Jif.
It's been 40 years you've been married, Michael.
What's that?
40 years, yes. Last week, yes.
That's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I remember said before, but if I had, regardless, 50 years, I think over 50 years, I think 50 years in 2012, so I've probably going on towards 70 years now, married.
Who?
My auntie.
Your aunt and uncle?
I think it was 50 years in 2012, I think.
Impressive.
So,
that's 63 now, yeah.
Yeah, impressive.
63 years, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, so here we go. First question was get to the questions here. Actually, let's address them together. All right. Let's see. We have I never thought people took Dom serious as a heel. Rhea and he turned gender norms on their head, and it was extremely entertaining. It jumped the shark when people stopped taking it serious. What do y'all think about the Rhea Dominic angle?
Yeah, it was good for a while, but it ran its course and everything. It was pretty good. Well, what I'm trying to figure out a little bit not really off the topic. What became of Damian Priest? Is he being punished or something all of a sudden? I mean, he was built up so big now, like he's barely on TV. He's getting pinned.
It's terrible.
Yeah, there's so much potential with him.
He was just world champion last year, and that's
yeah. And even him with Rhea, they should come back and have a mixed tag with Rollins and Becky. That would be great.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be.
Damian like a Drew that he can be beaten, but then come back and cut a promo or put somebody through a wall like he did last week on SmackDown, and that saves him.
I think that is such a terrible concept. That doesn't protect someone. That doesn't protect people whatsoever. It does a terrible job protecting just talent. Because I think at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you don't have a Hogan or a Warrior or an Austin just say, hey, you know what? I'll go through a dip where I'll just lose. It won't be as relevant. Like, who in the world would ever think of those people in that way? Like, but for some odd reason, we can just dip people and then bring them up when we want to, and then dip them again. And what type of way of building a character is that? It's not a good way whatsoever, man. Whatsoever.
Yeah, you never had that with like Randy no. Macho Man Savage. You never had that. You very rarely even seen him get pinned at all.
Yes, exactly. I always tell people when it comes to like sustaining a main event talent and keeping a main event talent, there's one of three paths that a main event talent should always be on. One of these three paths their entire career. They either have the championship, they're chasing the championship, or they've been derailed or distracted away from the championship for a time being from someone. So it's one of those three paths that a person should have as a main event talent. Like Austin was either champ, he was chasing to become champ because he was able to become the number one contender, or because of the McMahon-Austin feud, he got all kinds of distractions. Kane, Foley, Taker, like he got so many different types of distractions, even Rock when he joined the ministry. So there was always something there to distract him for a little while away from the title, and then he would get back to the championship. Hogan was champ for 4 years. I mean, he throughout almost his entire run in the WWE, he was champ, as far as his babyface feud. But still, though, he was either champ or chasing the championship. That typically was Hogan. Mm-hmm. So when you have those types of those things, like, for instance, Warrior was a main eventer, and then someone came and just wanted the soul of the Ultimate Warrior. And you had someone like a Papa Shango come in and take him away from the world championship picture, just to bring him back to the championship picture. So, I mean, like, we don't have any of that nowadays, man. Not
the belts don't mean anything. Yeah.
No.
And then you had special cases. You had Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper, the only time he had the WWE belt was when he beat Bret Hart for the belt.
Yeah,
I think Bret Hart beat him. Piper beat the Mountie, and then Bret Hart beat Roddy Piper. That was the only
that's the only title he had. He had the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. So, Ricky?
The IC title, and obviously later on he won the tag team titles. But yeah, it was many years later, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was during the the Ricky the Rambler wrestler day, or he it was him and Flair, wasn't it? Like they both were like in their 50s or 60s. That's I think they were in their 50s. Yeah. So yeah. How did Jade's cut in the botch? How about the Jade's cut in the botch from SmackDown? What's y'all's thoughts on that one?
You've seen the picture of the cut. It's quite a deep gash in her eyebrow. It's just the pictures look horrible.
You gotta protect your. I had this conversation on another show recently, and my take is I don't think Nia Jax. I mean, Nia Jax isn't just purposely, hurting people.
She don't know her own strength. She did the same thing to Kairi Sane 5 years ago. She pushed her into the steps,
and that's the thing. I mean, she doesn't know her own strength. She's a gargantuan of a specimen, gorgeous, but she's bigger than everybody else. On the roster. And so, it's like it's difficult, especially with a Jade Cargill. She's huge too. I've interviewed Jade Cargill. I mean, she's a freak of nature. It's physically. But I think when it comes to Nia Jax, I would just encourage her to pay attention to that stuff. Like you're a serial botcher at this point. Like she hurt Becky, she hurt Bailey, she hurt Charlotte. She heard Kairi Sane. She heard Jade Cargill now. You know what I mean? I remember when she did a bonsai drop, was it last year, a crown jewel on Lyra Valkyria, and she just pancaked her. It was just like a straight up splat. Like she just, even with Yokozuna, he was still brace it a bit with his legs. There was some enhancement talent that he just wanted to give them their, just, hey, you're going to get your $200 for the night. I'm going to get you a bonsai drop. You're going to fill it in your sternum. But he would, for the most part, he would brace, his fall. For a while, when she would do that move, she wouldn't brace her fall. And she would splat. I remember when she splat Rhea one week, I think it was on a Raw. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like, pay attention to this stuff, man.
They must have talked to her about that because now when she does it, it looks so
she doesn't
down slow motion.
Yeah, she braces herself more now, but it's just like, man, you got to pay it. You got to continue to work and work and work and work, man. So, absolutely.
Oh, what's going on?
We got Zubair fell asleep and came back to life here when he logged on. So welcome.
Well, I haven't been there a long time. Was I that asleep?
Yeah, man. Welcome back.
What's going on?
And the botch Chris looks awful. 1, 2, nothing.
Yeah, I heard about it. Really?
1, 2. Nothing. She didn't kick out. It didn't look like she kicked out.
Yeah,
the crowd could tell. The crowd knew straight away.
Jade was injured, so she was late coming to knock Tiffany off of Nia. So what happened was Nia pushed Tiffany off of her, and then the referee just stopped counting. They both looked at her.
I'll tell you this. If I know refs, I have good relationships with many former refs who were in the WWE for a long time. One of them being Marty Elias, and I'm saying his name because he said this. He's I've interviewed him several times, and Marty and I are really cool actually. And he mentioned how. He mentioned how he would have times where he had to call audibles in house shows and in shows because the wrestler wasn't there. They timed their spot wrong and they were supposed to kick out and they didn't because he just counted. He said, "Oh, I'm not getting rained by Vince," and so he would count the 3, man, and that's what it wouldn't be the ref's fault if she counted the 3, because that ain't got nothing to do with her. I mean, she's there for her job, and if she counts to 3, The person's shoulders is on the mat for 3 seconds. That's her job. She ain't got nothing to do with. And here's the thing: it's such a family oriented backstage nowadays. There's pros and cons to that. I appreciate that type of morale, but business is business, man. And you as a ref, your stock value is a lot less than these wrestlers. And if you're the one taking the brunt and looking like an idiot to protect these wrestlers, man, you got to think again because they ain't gonna pay your bills. You know what I mean? And if there's anybody in this pecking order that's the first to go in this situation, it's the ref. You know what I mean? So I think that it was from what I heard, there, what you just said, Michael. I've heard other people say it. Man, there's no way I would have said three. I would have counted three in a heartbeat, and I would, and that gives the booking committee like, well, all right, we got to call an audible. We got to figure it out. Stephanie Vaquer. So who was Tiffany? She ended up winning anyways, right? Tiffany was the one on top of Nia.
Ended up pinning. Once she pushed her off, then they both looked at her, and then Tiffany picked up Nia and then did a splash and then did the actual pin. Because they had to do something. They couldn't just make Tiffany then just pin her without doing a move. So they improvised and Tiffany jumped off the rope and then pinned her.
Yeah, that's bad, man. Because if Tiffany was the one pinning Nia in the first place and made the referee look awkward, you got to do the pin. You got to have the pin, and then the referee has the cue right there, and the referee is the one who sends the signals to people. And when it's time to transition to a move, and when it's time for the segment to close and things like that. Here's the thing: if that referee knew that Jay was injured, it wasn't going to come up because they got a piece, they can hear everything. It's those information, that message is transferred and it's communicated through that piece. Hey, Jade's down, man. You got to let them know to, do something different or close it up, take us home or kick out. So when the referee's counting, kick out, go, on two, you gotta do that stuff versus you're not calling on the fly. You're not making those professional decisions to make those audibles, and you make stuff look awkward. And that's basically what happened on Friday, man. So that stinks. So, all right, let's see here. We got the next question was, did your favorite NFL team win this week, and is your new favorite NFL team the Steelers? I'm not going to reveal my team yet, but I will say that it's not the Steelers. No. Definitely not the Steelers. All right, here's another question for the panel here. Thoughts on Cena retiring this year, then AJ Styles retiring in 2026, and can we survive without them? I really don't think they can. What y'all think?
Styles is no big. Cena, well, they're going to have to do, aren't they? They're going to have to. Okay, well, WWE's going to survive no matter what. They're going to make no matter. You have no roster. Okay, maybe not no roster, but still, they're making money no matter what. Can they survive without Cena? They're going to have to do. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. Zubair?
So here's what first off, the idea of them having a match with no story is just ridiculous. What I would have done in creative sense, like AJ Styles, the story could easily be like, and I don't understand why they didn't do this on TV. They should have asked Styles like, hey, Cena, that's not the same Cena that I saw when I faced. They could have easily brought their history, and it's like, I'm gonna be your motivator, which would lead to eventually when they eventually have a rematch with Lesnar and Cena, if they were to. It would make more sense where Cena plays or AJ Styles would play as he's gonna be his motivator, but this will also help Styles kind of get ready for his final. That's where it works out for both of them, where it helps Styles get ready for his final run, see if he has what it still takes, but also helps Cena in a way to get ready for Lesnar. That's what I would have done at least. But as far as both of them, the fact that obviously Cena's retiring, like Cena's a bigger star than Styles, so it's not really much of a difference. But at the same time, when you're losing both, you're gonna really struggle. Like you're gonna struggle with now. Like more people could lead to stop watching. You're gonna have less people to be intrigued with less stars. You know, you can say that, oh, you know, they're gonna make money or whatever. Sure, they'll make a little money, but it's not gonna be like for the long term. It's only be short term. So they're gonna struggle. They're gonna struggle when literally everybody, the only stars they have right now, like you have still Lesnar, Reigns, whatever, sure, but that's not gonna be for a long time. Like it's gonna only help for a short term. That's for sure. Because once when they're retired, once when Lesnar really retires, Reigns, because Lesnar's gonna be gone too. He's gonna be gone too. This is his last run.
He's you know
Roman might actually be done soon too. You're only gonna have these people that are the smarky indie delights, and let's be honest here, they're not stars. They're not, and they're not gonna carry the show. This will actually lead to WWE heading to AEW ratings, where they're gonna probably eventually soon head to 500,000 viewers, and that's when this when you put an S in front of it hits, it's a fan. You know what I mean?
So they had 1.1 recently on SmackDown, so they're not too far.
We say this every week. They don't care. You say it. Vince Russo said it. I'm going to say it. The check has been cashed. They've just going to make $350 million. They don't care if no one watches.
Okay,
well, it'll catch up to them eventually.
Eventually, it'll catch up.
Yeah, it'll catch up.
Because, watch Netflix when they find that loophole, they're gonna cancel them. They're gonna cancel. For USA Network might even cancel. I mean, I don't think so because I think USA Network that's the only market that they're kind of scared, and that's what Russo has said before.
They don't have any leverage. USA don't have any leverage.
But watch, the fact that WWE kind of thinks that they're that big of a brand where they're not worried. They weren't worried about Fox. They weren't worried about, and they're also not worried about ESPN supposedly and Netflix. Watch when that catch up to them, and then what? You're gonna probably have WWE next at the Hallmark channel. That's the funny joke I remember that might be a possibility. That's it. You're probably gonna be you're gonna have.
Yeah. My thing is this. I think that this is what helps WWE. What helps WWE is that you have fans who are so obsessed with the product that they'll complain, but they will pay whatever price point you give them as far as just the tickets are concerned. Case in point, you have there was one time only because there was a serious event happening too where they brought the NXT prices down for that event, and then they the prices went up because people weren't buying, and that to me just goes to show that because people deal with FOMO so much, and I talked about FOMO last week, the psychology behind it, because people deal with FOMO so much, they're willing to complain about the price, but they don't want to miss out on it, so they'll pay the price. And so they're not willing to take the risk and saying, hey, guess what? That's too much. I'm not paying those prices. You know what? In a couple of weeks, we'll see. Those Sinai's Money Event DC prices are going to come out when they sell those tickets for Cena's last match. I am really interested to see how much those tickets are going to be in the front row, simply because let's add him back. There we go. Simply because it's viewed as Cena's last match, and it's we have reached a point in pro wrestling, in our pro wrestling space right now, that you don't have to have any type of marquee match advertised, and they're still going to buy the tickets no matter what, man. And no matter how much that dwindles down, TKO is going to say, oh crap, we're losing viewers. That's cool. We'll just hike the prices up and they'll pay for them. You know what I mean? And so there has to be a protest. The leverage that the pro wrestling fans will get is if they say, hey, man, I simply can't afford these prices anymore. I'm not going to pay for it. Then TKO is going to have to respond. Until then, man, you listen, you can complain until you are blue in the face. As long as you have that ticket purchased, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. You don't even have to come. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you. If you purchase the ticket and you don't come, I don't care if you come or not. I just care if you buy the ticket. You know what I mean? And so that's basically where they are right now.
That is very sad. Like, it is sad that unfortunately still people are buying it. But again, what I've learned what I've learned again, and this is, this as a psychologist. All it takes is that one moment they're gonna break out. One fan will eventually. That's gonna lead to even more people when they have that breaking point. Everyone has a breaking point. That's when they realize, I can't keep spending this money, or wow, I lost, like, I'm in debt now because of this. That's when that breaking point happens. That's when, like, you know what? That's when it finally. But to be fair, they are, like, not even having a lot of people even buying the tickets. Like, this past Raw, I believe, had a very low attendance.
They were advertising next week's show.
Yeah,
on Raw.
So it's catching up. It's catching up.
What actually has to be done, and it's time to do this, the breaking point can be Saudi WrestleMania 2027. So there's got a couple of years, about a year and a half, a couple of years. Hire Shane McMahon the weekend of that AEW. Between now and then, they get the wrestlers in order, the storylines and everything. They run a pay-per-view. They can't do Madison Square Garden. Maybe they could do Yankee Stadium or Citi Field on that weekend. Make it fan-friendly. The price is reasonable. A patriotic theme and everything. Sell out the place.
I think the AEW will bring a lot. And what you just – and I was going to make what you just said, Zubair, is interesting because I was thinking about making that a class. There's a psychological concept called the minority effect. And that's where the smaller group – the smaller group influences the larger group as opposed to the opposite, which usually happens when the majority of the group usually influences the smaller group. But in the minority effect, you have a smaller group that is just unwavering, and they start to have a stronger influence on the bigger group. And so when it comes to like ticket sales and when it comes to just overall
the quality,
all of that, just overall, just evaluation and things like that. That's where you have that, and dare I say, the minority effect happened with the IWC booking John Cena versus AJ Styles, despite Triple H saying that he doesn't listen to the IWC, right? And so he's but I will say this though, it's usually like it's good to do that from a positive standpoint, but when it comes to your base and someone looking at the IWC, that what people in WWE do, they look at the IWC as like their focus group, and like that. And I've said this before. That's a terrible focus group to have, man.
Yeah,
because they're going to give you what you want to hear, and they're just going to give you stuff that is just not based on long-term booking, logical thinking, reasonable thinking, building stars. They just want what I call popcorn matches. And we've seen so many popcorn matches every single week. It's just, let me just book this. Let me just book this. Oh, they're backstage. Oh, they rub shoulders. Oh, oh, that's a match. That's a match. I just bumped your shoulder. That's a match. It's official. You know what I mean? Like, and so basically that's what we're doing now with Raw and with these popcorn matches, man. Cena versus AJ is a popcorn match. Brock versus Cena is a popcorn match. You're doing all these popcorn matches, and you're conditioning the wrestling fans with already low attention spans from their social media overstimulation to be just fine with it. And so you need the healthy minorities, the ones who are the casual fans now, versus the IWC, the other side of the coin, the other side of the pendulum, really, to have more of an influence of saying, hey, guys, what are y'all doing? Y'all look like idiots. It's weird. Y'all obsessed with this thing. Y'all need to reel it back, take a deep breath, and get to the point of like, we need to make some changes, because I've hopped in and hopped out a couple times and I'm not interested. And this is what y'all like. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it, man. That's what we're seeing nowadays.
I still think
they're
honestly,
doing the Rocky with the fight scenes, just fight scenes. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I still think though the Starks are the minority though. They are still. It's just the only reason why they're seen as the majority, because they're the ones that are only talking about it. But again, there's so many people honestly that like even from the YWC, the IWC side, a lot of people have stopped watching and stopped even covering it. Like some of my friends, like for example, the Smart Busters, they used to be like they used to like do like collabs with like Vince Russo and not just and even like a lot of YouTubers, like guys like them and so many other YWC people, like they quit watching, and a lot of the fans who watch them, like they were more so like they resembled the casual, old school type of wrestling fans. A lot of them stopped watching, and again, to prove that also, just when you look at anything like wrestling related, people who talk about wrestling, like it's also like such a low, like where people don't even care to like look up results and whatever.
Yeah.
So to say that like oh, the Smarks are the majority, that's actually not really the case, because again, look at it. Monday Night Raw and WCW combined, 20 to 30 million people were watching. Now it's only what, a million watching on Monday Night Raw, and even like it's going under, which is such a like there's no excuse. It's such a darn shame. Like that is just a joke. That's just a joke.
Yeah, I mean, your numbers don't lie either. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at now. So, Ricky, final thoughts, and then Michael, final thoughts before we close.
I think with the Cena's styles, they've really hankered themselves announcing Cena's dates, and I think it's a match people want to see. We put on a fantastic match at the Rumble, whatever year that was. So people want to see the match. We've announced his dates. What do we do? Let's just announce it on social media. And there we go. It kind of doesn't really matter. They don't have to, as you say every week, they don't have to try when they could just throw a match out there and there we go. That's it.
No need to try. Exactly. Yep. Pessolano, what you got, Mr. 40-year anniversary?
It just seems that lately it's like frustrating with even the pay-per-views. They put on like 5 matches and it's all just like fillers. It's like intros. It's like commercials. What happened like the week before and everything. It's just like football. Football is like, I mean, football's interesting, but if you look at football, it's actually only 14 minutes of action. Wrestling is like 14 minutes now, basically.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, No Mercy. The commercials and the classic No Mercy matches just took me out of the actual live matches. I was like, let's get on with it. I want to see the past matches.
Yeah. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, and I will put this on next week's PNP. So check it out. And for those watching, hey, appreciate you all coming to Patreon, and we can do this more with y'all joining us. And just regardless, show your support. Less than $1 a week, and man, for all the things that I do, we have fun. And how late it is right now from the day that I had, this goes to show my devotion to you. So thanks for watching.
Dr. Chris is the law of attraction, folks.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Enjoy your vacation.
Have a good night, Pete.
You too.
So long.
Right, bye.